Today, we are going to talk about trust. Trust is a very key element in raising a child and raising a teenager, and especially when they want to experience what they think is true freedom. Trust goes both ways. On one hand, it's having your child trust you, and it's also them knowing that they are trusted, that you trust them, right? It goes both ways. How do you balance that out, and how do you inspire in them this attitude of trust? And why do we say this? Why is it an important topic? Because a lot of kids think their parents don't trust them. Your son or your daughter goes out with friends on a party or even at school or whatever, some social event, and sometimes they say, "Oh, my parents don't trust me because you're putting all these rules." And then when you get mad at them or you call them out, they're like, "See, you don't trust me. How can you trust me? How can I trust you with a phone? How can you trust me with a phone? How can you trust me with a friend?" And all these things are tough, especially when you do trust them or you want them to feel that they are trusted. Three ways, three ideas for us to inspire trust both ways with our kids. The first one, know your why. When you ask them to do things, when you establish rules, certain disciplinary things at home or boundaries or what they can and cannot do, you have to have it very clear to your mind and to your heart why you're doing that. Because your child eventually will ask you, "Why, mom? Why, dad?" And you have to have it very clear. The reason of "just because I said so" doesn't cut it. And you know this. And it's a cop out. And for you as a parent, for us as leaders of our youth, if we guide them without knowing our why, without knowing our reasons, something's wrong. We are imposing our authority without knowing why. There are reasons to our actions. There should be, because the time will come when your child will ask you and you will have to give reasons. And if you don't, it's tough. The conversation will be hard, right? And as you know, if you think a little deeper, there are reasons to why our gut feel asks them not to do what we don't want them to do. What is your why? Why don't you want your kid to be out till 10 at night or 11 at night with their girlfriend if they're just 15, 16, 17 years old? You explain why. You explain the dangers. You explain the prudence. You explain protecting the boundaries. You explain why your kid has to be very careful when they're around friends that you know are toxic because influences. Know your why. Know the reasons. And as couples, mom and dad, talk to yourselves about that. What are the reasons behind your rules? Your reasons behind you asking your kids to do certain things and to avoid certain things. The second is learn how to be masters at communication with your kids. Learning how to be masters of communication, to be able to communicate with clarity your own opinions, your own rules. When the why is established, then to know, how do I communicate that with confidence, to look at the eyes of your son or your daughter and say, "I care about you, I love you, and this is what I want for our family, and these are the reasons why." And to clearly communicate, kind of an addition to that is communicate with love, with care. Your son and daughter need to know that you care about them. If you come across as reprimanding, if you come across as aggressive, as somewhat degrading, how will they trust you? Trust requires love. I trust someone because I know they care about me. Learn how to communicate that. Learn how to show gestures of love. If it's hard for you, if you never taught that, learn. Ask for help. Ask for guidance. Your son and daughter do need to know that they are loved and trusted. You have to communicate that. "I love you. I care for you. Therefore, these are the reasons and these are the things I ask. And I will always be there for you." And the third point related to the "I will always be there for you" is let your kid ride the bike. Take off those trainer wheels. Take off those things, those crutches, and let them experience the good things of life, the normal life, and walk with them. It would be so wrong if you send your kid out to a party without checking how the party went, without checking how the party is, and without establishing boundaries and reminding them if they fall, they fall, and you bring them back home and you remind them and you say, "These are the things we uphold as a family. I trusted you. Let's renew that trust. Let's continue building that trust." One of the things that ruins trust, I think, is when we have too much control. We don't let our kids experience the right exercise of freedom. One of the things that ruins trust, I think, is when we have too much control. We don't let our kids experience the right exercise of freedom with us accompanying them, right? We don't just let them go. We don't kick them out of the house. And we make a mistake sometimes. This is my opinion. That's the father of the prodigal son. That's Jesus with his disciples. They're always Jesus in the tabernacle. He's always there waiting. He will let us do whatever you want, whatever you want. And he trusts that we're going to try to make the right decision. And if you don't, we come back to him. He's always there. He's always waiting. Can we do the same? So these are just three ideas, simple ideas. Hopefully we can learn from that. Hopefully these aren't complete. This is not a perfect solution. These are simple ideas that hopefully help us start this journey of gaining the trust of our kids and inspiring in them the trust and helping them know they are trusted.